Welcome to the training video for the Concur mobile app. To download the Concur mobile app, search for SAP Concur in your device's app store. Once you have that downloaded and you launch the app, this is what the main screen looks like. The Concur mobile app comes preloaded with something called Expense-It. What Expense-It does is it takes the receipt image and automatically creates an expense on the Concur site. And this can be automatically added to an expense report using another program within the mobile app called the Expense Assistant. Now these programs can be switched on and off in the settings. If you go in the top left, it brings kind of a drop down here where you can find the settings. If you select settings, you can see Expense Assistant and Expense-It. They're both defaulted to be on. Again, like I said, Expense Assistant is the one that takes any incoming expenses and automatically puts them onto a report. And if you have not started a report, it will actually create a report and add the expense to it. And Expense-It will take the receipt image and automatically generate an expense using that receipt. So we're going to go over that here. We would suggest leaving these on. It makes things really easy. The main reason you would turn, for example, Expense-It off is if you already have an expense created and all you want to do is send the receipt image, that you don't want it to generate another expense. When you select Expense-It, it'll bring up two options here, either camera or gallery. The only time you would use gallery is if you already have the receipt image on your phone and you want to send it to Concur and generate an expense. But otherwise, if this is your first time capturing the image, you would select camera. And then it'll just open up your phone's camera. And so what you'll do is you'll get the receipt in there and click the button at the bottom here. The first thing that the app does is it looks for the amount of the receipt. And what it will do is ask you to confirm that it's reading the correct amount. And so it'll show you what it believes the amount to be. If this is correct, you just click the button right here. If it's not right, hit incorrect, and then you'll have to key in the amount. So finally, it'll finalize, you'll just press done. And now it'll upload the image to Concur. Once again, it gives you a little message here that Expense Assistant is active. So if you go out there and you look for available expenses and you don't see anything, that's because it's already been moved to a report. So that's just kind of a little heads up it's giving you there. Finally, it will analyze the receipt. And then what will happen with the app is it'll actually send a notification to your phone that the receipt has been uploaded to Concur and can now be viewed. So if we go out to the Concur website, we will see that this expense has been created and it's been added to June expenses. And it figured this out by looking at the date of the receipt. It was in June, so it added it to the June expense report. You'll see here that there's some exceptions, some red flags. This is because Expense-It does not fill out all the fields. The business purpose, the attendees, those still have to be filled out. You're also going to want to take a look at the expense type because Expense-It basically kind of takes its best guess as to what the expense type is, but it's usually wrong. So you'll want to go in there and adjust that as well. So we'll click on the expense, and so that'll bring up the expense details. Like I said, the expense type, it shows dinner, and this may not be what you wanted it to be. So you would change that. You would add in the business purpose, which is basically the description of the expense. And you would make any other changes you might need. For example, the program code, maybe if that's not right, you would change that. And then you'll have to go in and add the attendee. And this is described in the first video. Once you've made those changes, then you can see we've got the blue icons here that we added the attendee, that we do have a receipt. There's no red marks, so that expense is good to go. That's the end of this video. Thank you for watching.